I'm Scott with Marc's Mobility. Today we're going over how to access and change the batteries on your Quantum Powerchair. Specifically, I'm talking about the Quantum Q6 Edge, the Edge 2, and the Edge 3 Powerchairs. The Edge 3 Stretto is a different base, so I do have a separate video on that. It'll be in the link in the description. Go ahead and check that out if you have the Stretto model. But for now, we're going to go over the Edge 2 and the Edge 3, as well as I'll show you how to access the batteries if your batteries are completely dead and you can't get to them, if your legs are blocking up front. I'll show you that very shortly. Then at the very end, I'll also show you how to hook up your battery terminals. The first scenario I'm going to go over is if you have the Q6 Edge or if you have any basic power chair. When I say basic, I mean it doesn't have any seat lift or tilt or recline or any of those functions. It just is a normal chair. You can tell because it'll have a foot plate attached up front here. I'll have a picture up in this corner so you can see what I'm talking about. But they still have the exact same design whether that foot plate is here or not. So for those types of chairs, to access your batteries, we're going to remove this front cover. There should be two levers right here. You're going to push both of these in. If your chair is very old or has been sitting a long time, they can get a little stuck. You can WD-40 in there and gently tap it with a hammer or something just to get those unstuck, but that's how you do it. From there, you kind of lift up and out, and it will just slide out because you do have this little rounded part goes in right here. So you might have to lift up and then out a little bit, but that allows you access to your batteries. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on. Again, up and then down, then you'll just latch those back. Now, if you have a power chair with a seat lift or a tilt or electric legs or anything that's in the way here, but you still have power to your chair, I would recommend charging your chair and getting that seat lift up or getting those legs up and out of the way. It removes the exact same way that I just showed you now. So if you do have power to your chair, get your seat lift up, get your tilt up, anything that will allow you to access this. Now the second scenario is your chair's been sitting for a long time, the batteries are completely dead. You've tried charging it, there's nothing you can do, your feet are stuck, it is in the way, you can't get your batteries out. So there is good news, there is a way to access the batteries. What you would need is these cables right here. Now, the frustrating part about these cables is they are no longer in production by the manufacturer, so only dealers have them. You can't buy them anywhere, and they're really hard to find because of a limited supply. We have a limited supply as well, so you can rent these cables from us with the purchase of batteries. We ship batteries all across the US. We offer free shipping at a very good price. So if you order batteries with us, we do allow you to rent these cables. These cables will allow you to power the chair and get your seat lift up or get your legs up out of the way so you can access this tray. The way these cables work is one end is going to hook up to the batteries that would have been sent to you with your chair, so you will want the new batteries. And you have these alligator clips. They won't really clip around these posts, so you do want to take these little bolts that come with the chair and slide them in like that. And you can, if you want to tighten them on there, you can go ahead and just do this real quick. I just hand tighten them, that way they're just not moving on me. And then you can take your clips and make sure you have red to positive, black to negative. It is labeled, and a lot of batteries are also color coded. Then we'll just go ahead and clip it on there. Now follow me to the back of the chair where I'll show you what to do with the other end. Now what we're going to do is we're going to access the function box on your chair. It's going to be in the rear of the chair behind your back cushion. This is the newer style, this kind of rounded style. There is an older style that's a bit more angular. I'll have a picture of it on the screen. In order to take the older style off, there are 4 Phillips screws holding it in place. I'll have them pointed out to you. You just take those 4 Phillips screws out and the whole thing will come off. On this newer style, in order to take it out, it's a little easier. You don't need any tools. You just have these 2 round, kind of hurricane looking clips at the bottom. You're just going to turn those to the left, pop them out, and then just kind of wiggle this off. There's a little tab holding it in up top, but that gives you access to your brain. So this is your function box right here. What I'm going to do, there's a Phillips screw here and a Phillips screw here. I'm going to just take it out. I find it easier to manipulate taking it out. It is a lot harder to get your fingers in there and take those cables out. So we're just going to remove the whole thing. There we go. I have this brain out. I'm going to move this little bracket out of the way. So this is your function box, and it controls the different functions on the chair, your seat lift, tilt, recline, and legs. Then each of these cables go into those functions. This is a loaded chair, so there's 4 cables total. If your chair only has seat lift, you might only see 1 of these. If you have seat lift, tilt, and recline, you'll have 3. Now I'm going to put a diagram up in the corner of the screen that I made for another video of this labeled so you can see exactly what each cable does. Now what I'm going to do is remove my seat lift actuator. Like I said, I have it labeled up in the screen, so I'm going to just go ahead and take out my seat lift, which is going to be the one over the orange. If you don't have a seat lift, you can do your tilt, which will be the green, or you could even do both of your legs, which I believe is blue. So we're going to take this out. And what this does is this gives us direct access to that motor. So we're going to take those cables we plugged in earlier. The other end has this plug that goes right in here. So we're going to plug that in. Once that's plugged in, you will notice when we attach these to the battery, a red light popped up. Then there's a little up and down arrow. This will allow you to control which direction your seat lift goes. So now that we're hooked up directly, up is up. Mine's all the way up just for filming this video. If I push down, you see I can now control my seat lift with this button. So when you have this hooked up, you can bring your seat lift all the way up, or if you're connected to your tilt motor, you can bring your tilt up. Whatever you have to do to get those legs out of the way of your battery, and then now you have access to your battery pack and you can access your batteries currently. One quick note, the Edge 4 is just now coming out at the start of filming this video. That has a rear access to the battery, so you should not need these cables for the Quantum Edge 4. I think it'll be a bit before we start seeing a lot of those on the market, but I just wanted to give a heads up. You don't need this method for the Quantum Edge 4. Once you're done with that, we'll go ahead and unplug this. I'll go ahead and take it off of the batteries as well. Make sure you plug this back into the slot you got it out of. Again, I'll throw up that diagram one more time just so you make sure you got everything right, because these are labeled. There is a part number, and a lot of time it'll say like elevate or legs. From there, once that's back in, we're going to reinstall our brain box. We'll go ahead and get this. You can see it fits very nicely in there. And then we're going to install this back in. You see threaded holes. There's 2 sets. I go for the top set first, and then I believe the bottom will go down here. And we'll just reinstall this. Now the brain box is installed. I'm going to grab our rear cover. Then we'll reinstall this. It's going to line up here, but we want to make sure these cables are kind of on the outside. We don't want them getting stuck under here, and you'll wonder why it's not closing. These just kind of tuck in there. So I'll latch the top in, kind of pull these out around the outside. See how it sits flush now? And then we'll go ahead and line these up. So you'll kind of push them in first, and then turn them to the right a half a click. Same with the other side. Then that reinstalls this. Now we have the legs up and out of the way. We have access to this. I'm going to go ahead and take this back off like we did earlier. Now, we bought this chair used from someone. I don't know why they put 35 amp batteries in here. You don't want 35 amps in your Quantum. You're not going to get any range. So don't put these in. But we're going to go ahead and remove these, and I'm going to replace them with our 55 amps. So you just kind of slide these out. You can also unplug them from here. It'll be a lot tighter with the 55 amps, which is what should be in your chair. You'll have all your cables kind of tucked in up here with the batteries about this tall. You'll see when we install our 35 or our 55s. One other thing I like to do is I like to tuck these to the side right in here. We'll just kind of hold them out of the way. That way when we're putting our batteries in, you're not going to drop a battery on these and smash them. Now what we're going to do is take the cables off our old batteries, and put them on our new batteries. Again, 35s are kind of a weird, kind of an oddball. You shouldn't have these in your Quantum. These are our nice 55 amp MK batteries. These are the ones you would get if you purchase batteries from us. MK is the best brand on the market as far as batteries are concerned. So I'm gonna start by taking out, these are 10 millimeter. You'll probably end up having 13 millimeter bolts in your batteries, which is what these take. So sizes might vary. You might see 7/16, but usually 13 millimeter is what you'll see on your batteries. So we'll just go ahead and take these off. So now our cables are off the batteries. I'm going to move this to the side. You will get a pack with your new battery cables. These are 13 millimeter or a 1/2 inch wrench might work if you don't have 13. We'll just slide these in here. We'll put our cables on. We'll go ahead and tighten these. And I'm just hand tightening for now. What I like to do when I do these, since we have 2 batteries, I find it works best to have, you see how the terminals are kind of up close to this side? I like to have one installed this way. This will be the first one we put in our chair, and another one installed this way. I find that it just gives me a lot more slack, so it's easier to plug in when one is like this. So I'll go ahead and tighten these with my 13 millimeter wrench. Once those are nice and tight and they're not wiggling anywhere, just trying to get your terminal covers over. It might not be the best fit depending on which batteries you get, but we'll just put these over and protect your terminals. We'll do the same thing on the other side because there is 2 batteries. We will have to do this again on the other side. Now I have my cables on. 2 words of advice before we install these in a chair. Remember to put red to positive, black to negative. It works the same way as your car battery. And also, just like car batteries, don't connect these 2 terminals together. If you're going with your wrench, don't touch your wrench to both of these. That's not a fun time. So now we're going to go ahead and install these. I have them set up the way I like to do it, with this long one up front. And then this one's a little shorter. That'll just give us more room to play, to plug it into here. Make sure these are tucked out of the way. We don't want to smash them. So I like to slide it up, kind of tilt it back, and slide them in. And kind of tuck that out of the way. We'll do the same thing with this one. Tilt it back, slide it, push it all the way in. And now we can connect these 2. It doesn't matter which one goes to which. It's all going to power your chair. Now we're just going to put our front cover on. These do kind of just tuck away like that. So I'll get our cover. You might have to shove them under a little bit, but then this cover goes on. These black cables go on top. So I'll just kind of push those down, lift it up. And then once you push it in, it should go. You might have to wiggle it a little bit, but now it's in. You can see those are kind of lining up. Just kind of move it around until you can get those to lock in place. Then there we go. That's how you change the batteries in your Quantum Powerchair. This has been how to access and replace your batteries on your Quantum Powerchair. If you have any questions, give us a call. We'd love to speak with you. If you want to purchase batteries or rent those cables from us, again, give us a call, or we have a link for batteries in the description below. You can check that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out our channel.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.